Put it down. 100 racks. Yeah. 100 racks. Put it down. 100 clips. 100 clips. Put it down. 100 racks. 100 racks. Put it down. 100 clips. 100 clips. Put it down. Finding myself, gaining my wealth, aiming in stealth, raising up hell. Our mothers is crying, our brothers is dying. Are we even trying to?
Arguing is a common issue in all relationships. It is to a degree accepted in Western society, but in all reality, arguing is counterproductive and destabilizing. Part of the problem is the convoluting nature of the word itself. It is often conflated with discussing an issue, but discussion of any problem should be just that, a discussion. How many times have we disagreed with someone in simply talking over an issue only to have them respond by saying, "Okay, I'm not going to argue with you about it, let's forget it," or something to that effect. The question is, why is discussion of the matter considered an argument? We often equate a problem with acrimony, so conversation around it seems to intuitively be a gateway to disagreement and subsequent arguing. Rather than get lost in the mire of who did what, who is right or wrong, there is a very simple formula for crushing and stopping arguments in their tracks. Whenever you and your partner encounter a problem between the two of you, once they have expressed their feelings of what the issue is, don't respond by defending your position. Simply ask, "What do you want me to do?" This is a simple, not easy pathway to problem solving. There is a difference. If you can train your mind to just go to this place first, you can virtually eliminate the arguing in your relationship. Asking this powerful question does many things, but for the sake of time, we will discuss three. 1, this forces the person making the claim to lay out their case in a clear and concise manner, so you don't have to guess or assume anything, and if they are unable to be clear, that means they themselves are not quite sure what they are angry about. This stops you from arguing over assumptions and allows direct approach to the real issue at hand. Misdirection oftentimes happens because arguments are a result of a buildup rather than the immediate problem. This question will flesh that out, and you will have done the exact thing professionals do in therapy sessions. Be ready to be blamed directly or indirectly by being told what you specifically need to do. After all, that is what you asked. But asking is a strategic ruse to diffuse and redirect, so don't get shaken by the response. Don't attack your partner if they can explain the problem clearly or pinpoint the actual source of their complaint. It's important to stay solution-oriented and simply take the floor with your own suggestions. Again, this puts you in the problem-solving lead. Second, this stops the blame game immediately and redirects the problem to the active solutions and will generally shift the nature of discussion to one of amicability. Third, once you develop this pattern of problem solving, both you and your partner will feel more comfortable with discussing issues. From the outset, issues will not begin as a source of tension, but rather a chance to become closer to one another, knowing that discussing problems is not a problem, which by default makes any single issue a dual problem. This is what people don't realize in relationships. If you find yourself avoiding discussions to avoid arguments, you are in a relationship that is tainted with anger or baggage, or one or both of you are inept communicators. Another approach is to ask, how do we fix this? But this implicates the other person in the creation of the problem. And while it may be true that they are an equal or even the main culprit, it is too direct and too soon to bring notice to their contribution to the issue. Also, that takes you out of the driver's seat prematurely. Asking, "What do you want me to do?" is more indirect and addresses your willingness to do your part without placing blame. You also want to see exactly who the other person blames for the problem, which gives you insight to how they interpret the matter. Your clever solution may or may not address their culpability, and if it does, it will be in the form of assisting you with coming up with a solution. They will bear the responsibility of helping you solve the problem, which subtly makes them a part of the problem via making them a part of the solution. See how that works? Once they tell you what they want done, you will see exactly what they think the problem is. And therein lies the chance for you to demonstrate your problem-solving abilities with the exact issue laid out for you from their perspective. Arguing is not solution-based. It is point-proving, built-up aggression, misdirected anger, incorrect analysis, assertion of power, and all that come with that. But the second a discussion devolves into an argument, the original problem is no longer the only problem. Now it's about power and force. Parties are trying to force their views on one another, and this brings about struggles for dominance, which is not a shared aspect of relationships but breeds a hyper-individualistic disposition in psychology. This is often the death knell of unions. When we see heads of state discussing political matters, there is a ceremony of structured diplomacy. All parties are sitting. No one is standing above the other. All parties have a safe space that no other party invades. There is a gavel and mediator who keeps order when emotions start to run too high. Diplomacy is a word rarely used and even less practiced, but of the utmost importance and woefully neglected in many relationships, which is why, sadly, few really last. What people must understand is that some people suffer from many cognitive biases, and while many manifestations can be noted, a general pattern that's even noted under the DSM-5 manual is an antisocial personality disorder, which can be at the root of many problems. Antisocial personality disorder is a mental health condition characterized by a pervasive pattern of disregard for the rights of others, lack of empathy, deceitfulness, impulsivity, irritability, aggression, and a consistent failure to conform to societal or relational norm. It is often exhibited as a disregard for the well-being of others and may involve manipulative or exploitative behavior, such as avoiding responsibility and redirecting blame. Even more problematic is that it comes in various levels ranging from minor traits to sociopathic. As to the question of solution, mediation is another powerful tool. If this is a recurring problem, find someone both parties are comfortable with to give unbiased perspective on the problem at hand. An older wise being is good, a professional might be better. It is surprising just how simple some of the solutions are for most of the troubles in relationships. And if we just do a little soul-searching and take a solution-oriented approach, we can live more strife-free with much more reserved power to deal with the many external societal problems that face us today.